We are now following breaking news. This is a pursuit that is underway right now. This is in Southgate. You can see that white car there with the bumper hanging down there as this car is reaching speeds over 60 miles per hour. We are hearing that this was a stolen vehicle call, and of course officers tried to stop that driver, but the driver has not stopped. You can see even with that damage to the car, they are still going at least 40 miles per hour. They have been going for a short time now, we understand, but certainly no signs of slowing down or stopping at this point. Sky 9 been over this for just a little bit now, but we are not getting a lot of information, only that this was an attempted stop of a stolen vehicle. We don't know at this point from since we've gotten over the pursuit what happened to that bumper, but you can clearly see it hanging there in the back of this white sedan that is now going, looks like catching up to a little traffic there as a red light, but going around here. But again, this is a reported stolen car, and you can see that bumper there hanging, and certainly always a dangerous situation when someone is driving quite erratic, and other drivers that are in the area have no idea that this is a pursuit that's going on, or how desperate this person might be to get away from authorities. But you can see that car moving out right now, going over 70, almost 80 miles per hour now on the street here in Southgate. And you do not see any officers close behind the car, but we do know that there are CHP officers following this car. They are at a little bit of a distance right now, but are not seen in this shot that we are getting from Sky 9 right now. But you can see this car quite far there in front of those officers that are on the ground. But you can see that white car really moving out now, and that bumper hanging from behind, really getting close to other cars as they are going through that intersection, and really certainly a dangerous situation this afternoon. Oh, there's another intersection. You see that red car so close there. They are unaware that this pursuit is happening and that someone's driving very fast, very erratic at another intersection. These are always so dangerous. Making a left turn here. Again, this is in Southgate. This is on, let's see here, it looks like South Somerset Ranch Road here. You see that white car again. Look at that bumper just hanging out there right now, bouncing a bit. It's surprising that it hasn't come off completely yet, but certainly doesn't appear to be slowing this driver down at all. We're getting a little block there from the trees, but this is another intersection where the cars have been stopped at a red light, and that driver still making their way through the intersection. You can see they're going on the left side there, passing on the right side of the road there. This is now Norwalk, and this car just really picking up speed when the roadway opens up there. They are really taking advantage and making another dangerous pass on the right side. Tight squeezes there as they make those illegal passes on the right side of the roadway there. Again, now this pursuit in Norwalk, for folks that are just joining us, this is a pursuit of a stolen car, and you can see that white sedan really picking up speed here. The bumper hanging from behind, tight squeeze there around another car, but going over 100 miles per hour. This is a wild chase, very dangerous for folks that are completely unaware that a car is coming up behind them so quickly. And, you know, one quick lane change and there could be a serious accident, but this car really moving out. Sky 9 overhead now, watching this white car really pick up speed and really making some close calls here. Joining us now is retired Sergeant Darren Wyatt. You've been watching this with us, and this is really frightening to see this car get so close to the other cars and going at such a high rate of speed.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we're seeing this more and more with these extremely high-speed pursuits, dangerous conditions, people really just not showing any regard for the other public on the roadways at all.
Yeah, these lane changes really dangerous, and I just wonder if that bumper came off. That could be a dangerous situation for any driver that might get hit with it, or it could impair their driving in some ways. But we've seen this driver make a lot of those illegal passes on the right side of the road there.
Yeah, and that also is very, very dangerous, and it's dangerous for the officers as well because, the public is trained when they see lights and sirens to pull to the right, and when the officers have to maneuver like that, it's not unusual for a citizen to see and hear them approaching from behind and then move over in the path of the police car.
Yeah, this driver really not slowing down at all. It seems that when this driver gets some open stretch of roadway, I mean, they are really, really going up to 100 miles an hour, we've seen.
Yeah. And now is he merging? Did he merge onto another freeway here?
Looks like we're now back onto some surface streets, it appears.
Yes. Yeah, and still very high speeds, 70, 80 miles an hour, and going through kind of a tight turn there.
Yeah, this is Rosecrans, which we know can be very busy.
Yep. And again, you saw him passing on the shoulder there as he was exiting there onto Rosecrans. But again, now off the freeway, picking up speed. I'm not seeing any units within the picture. I don't know if we can pan out and see if they've pulled off and are just tracking by helicopter, or if there are actually ground units still involved.
We have not seen ground units so far since we've been watching this pursuit based on the shot that we are getting from Sky 9. It looks as though perhaps those CHP officers in pursuit have really backed off a bit, maybe to hopefully slow this driver down a bit.
Yeah, and that is a very common practice, especially in today's environment. It's a stolen vehicle, right? So in today's day and age, there's not a lot of penalties for those types of crimes. And when somebody's going, it's somewhat of a lower level crime in today's environment, and they're driving at these high speeds and endangering the public. It's not uncommon for the ground units to back off and allow the helicopter to continue to track and then send units in when it stops. Here through a red light, and almost a collision there. But the flip side of this is many times, the owners of these vehicles, the car stolen, they want to get it recovered. But when they're involved in these high-speed pursuits, oftentimes the cars are not in the shape that they were in when they were stolen when they're recovered at the end of these pursuits. So another thing to think about. Yeah,
something tells me this bumper was not hanging like that when this person took off with it. Certainly reaching such high speeds, and these other drivers just completely unaware of how fast another driver could be coming up on them and how dangerous this could be. Again, it looks as though we are in Norwalk on another, Imperial Highway at this point. And, when this driver gets to those intersections, like right now, it's just so nerve-wracking just watching what could happen as these other drivers are just, minding their own business, going through the intersection, and there's another car coming through at a really high rate of speed.
Yeah, absolutely. And Amy, do we know what agency initiated the pursuit and whether it was on the freeway with CHP, again, through a red light there, or if it was a municipal agency on city streets that was then relinquished to the Highway Patrol?
I've heard from my producer that it was the LAPD that started this. And I did hear at one point that CHP may be involved as well.
Okay. It looks like he's held up in some tight traffic here underneath the freeway overpass. But again, no units in sight here. Interesting to see how he gets out of this mess. He's going to try and maneuver. Yeah. Tight
turn there, jumping back on the freeway here.
And are we getting on the 105 here? Is that what we're?
I believe this is a 605.
605, okay.
Yeah, but really moving out. We can see the speedometer there. It looks like way over 100 miles per hour. I mean, just really, really picking up speed. Wow.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw it when he was actually entering the on-ramp there at that high speed in that tight corner. He kind of fishtailed. It looked like he was losing a little bit of control there as he entered. But now, again, I'm seeing up to 120 miles an hour at one point there. Just so dangerous, especially with the traffic conditions. Traffic is lighter than what we would expect in a non-COVID environment. But still, there's a lot of cars on the road on the freeway here, and he's just flying.
Yeah, really going fast, over 100 miles per hour. This is just so dangerous, as we all know, that, someone could just be changing lanes and get right in front of that car, and really could be a dangerous, dangerous crash there.
Yeah,
he's getting pinned up a little bit there.
The driver of the stolen vehicle included.
Yeah, he's getting pinned up, or she. We don't know at this point who that driver is, but that driver got a little pinned up and made another pass there on the right.
Yeah, very dangerous conditions here. But the other thing is we're continuing to see these high speeds and these erratic maneuvers, even without ground units behind them. So I wonder if at some point here, if the Highway Patrol will get back involved, knowing that their efforts of backing off have not been successful, and maybe keep on top of him and look for the opportunity to maybe, if he gets off the freeway again, initiate a pit maneuver or spike strips or some way to bring this to a conclusion.
Yes, this driver on the 605, we now know that they are in Whittier at this point. And as you were just mentioning, with the lights and sirens so far behind, a lot of these drivers nearby have no idea that this pursuit's even underway. Right.
Yeah, they're just wondering why this person's driving like a maniac and endangering lives on the freeway.
Yeah, so dangerous, so close to these other cars. And it really makes me nervous just watching this driver go so fast with these other cars, just oblivious to, a driver coming up so fast behind them.
Yeah, and somebody can see a vehicle approaching very quickly and make a lane change to try and get out of the way, as this person is changing lanes to get around him at the same time. And at these speeds, it would be a violent collision.
Yes, still going so fast. That bumper still hanging on there, just dangling on the roadway. And this driver just not slowing down at all. Any chance they get to really open up there, they are going as fast as we've seen in a while, well over 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, and I would say over the last week, we've seen at least 3 of these pursuits, 2 of them with motorcycles well over 100 miles an hour, one just a few hours ago, and now this vehicle that was getting up to those high speeds as well. It looks like he might be exiting again. He's on the shoulder. Yeah,
we've got a little traffic backup here, so it'll be interesting to see what they attempt to do here, darting around these other cars. But a lot of traffic in this little area, a little bottleneck. And
yeah. I don't know if you saw, too, when he was on the shoulder at that high speed with all the debris that was flying up off of the shoulder. That's dangerous as well, because there can be rocks, there can be pieces of metal, bolts, stuff that can be thrown up into the windshields of other cars, etc. So all of that on these high speeds on the shoulder are dangerous. And when he's traveling at that high speed, it could actually cause a blowout if he runs over something and cause it to lose control.
Exactly. We see that bumper is hitting the ground, and it looks like it's knocking some of that debris up as well. It was hanging, but didn't seem like it was hitting the pavement as much. But now it seems as though perhaps it's come a little looser and has a little more give and is scraping the pavement at times.
Right, and just saying, it's only a matter of time before it completely comes off. And if he's traveling at these high speeds, passing vehicles like this, and that bumper flies up into the windshield of another car, it could be very, very dangerous.
Yeah, looks like exiting at Whittier and stop there behind some other cars. Doesn't it be, the driver's not attempting to go around, it appears at this time, just going with the flow here at this stop. But
yeah, and that could be just simply because he looks back and does not see lights and siren behind him at any point, and feels like he's got a little bit of room to wait. But he's got to know that the helicopter's overhead, and he's not going to be able to outrun the helicopter.
Yeah, exactly. And we still have not seen any cruisers on the ground in any of these shots so far. So clearly they are at quite a distance, and we're seeing another passing there on the right as this driver picks up speed again, going through another intersection. Fortunately, no problems at this one, but wow.
Yeah, like you said, no problems at this one, but it's just a matter of time with the recklessness that this driver is driving in before it's just so scary watching it and not knowing and thinking, what if it's one of your family members that is driving through the intersection?
There's somebody running out there. Looked like somebody was running out on the street. We unfortunately see that at times, people coming out to wave to the people that are involved in a pursuit. She's stopping there in the street. Don't know if that was intentional or, no, backing up now. You often wonder if they know where they're going, and now making a right here on Stevens Street. So now you wonder, does this person know the area that they're in and now trying to make their way to a certain destination, perhaps a home
Yeah,
or
or to
family?
find a spot that they can park under a tree where they feel that they've lost the
Cul-de-sac.
helicopter's lost visual or something, and then they will.
Yeah.
Leave the
This
car
ended
on
up being a
foot.
cul-de-sac, Darren. I think we're just a little ahead of you, but
Yeah, you're about 20 seconds ahead of me.
yeah, the driver ended up in a cul-de-sac, had to turn around, and is back going now on Stevens Street and heading back now on Tobias.
So I would think that would tell us that he might not know the area.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, so.
You often wonder if there is some, plan that they are trying to get to, but this might just be random driving here, trying to just elude officers. And as we've been talking, there are no black and whites close behind this driver that has been going at very high speeds, well over 100 miles per hour on the freeway, and certainly a dangerous situation. Air support following this driver, which started as a stolen car call. Officers tried to stop this car, and as we see, this driver is not stopping at all, even with a bumper hanging, just dangling in the back of that white sedan there.
Yeah, and multiple red light violations, multiple stop sign violations, especially in that small residential area. He's blowing through the stop signs at 60 miles an hour. Very scary at this time of day when, people could be out walking their dogs or they're out with their children, et cetera, on these residential streets. And this guy's
just went through a parking lot, Darren, and that is the live image there. And on the right, we were showing the higher rates of speed going into another parking lot on the left side of your screen. That is the live images there. And it looks like this driver's pulling into a parking spot. Wondering, oh, no, thought maybe they were going to get out and run, but going up over the grass there and back out of that parking lot and back onto the road. This driver does not appear to know exactly the area, which sometimes you wonder if they do. But this driver has ended up in a cul-de-sac and then a parking lot, and now is back on Whittier Boulevard again. And this driver's been on Whittier Boulevard a couple of times here. You can see that bumper does not appear to be driving the slower down at all, still dangling there, and this driver picking up speed once again.
Yeah, and some of these movements are very, very erratic and unusual, like that maneuver in the parking lot and pulling into the parking space and then driving over the grass area where he could have just not turned into the parking space and exited the parking lot and continued to go. So really wondering what's going on with this person. Is the person in some kind of a mental health crisis or under the influence of alcohol or drugs? And I just saw a police unit make a U-turn there. I don't know if he's going to actually engage in the pursuit, but there was a unit there. It looked like an SUV that made a U-turn back behind the suspect vehicle.
Darren, this driver is on Whittier Boulevard, getting really close to some other cars, squeezing in between. Really erratic driving here, just trying to get away from these cars. It is very frightening to watch this driver at such high rates of speed, going through intersections so close to these other cars. Oh no, getting up to oh wow, getting close to some other cars, running the light there. There was a white truck nearby, and just really, really frightening to watch this, because these other drivers have no idea that this pursuit is happening. There are no black and whites on the ground. Oh, on the wrong side of the road. Getting around these cars, there's people there on the sidewalk there, and went through another intersection. And these people have no idea, because, as I was saying, there are no black and whites close by, so they're not hearing the lights and sirens, seeing the lights and hearing the sirens as this car comes up at really high rate of speed. And with that bumper still dangling down, looks like another parking lot. And you wonder if there's someone else in the car, perhaps, that is trying to convince this driver to stop. But
right, or if he's on the phone with somebody, if somebody's either encouraging him to give up or to continue in the pursuit. But yeah, some very, very dangerous driving there.
Yeah, parking lots can always be dangerous, even if you're following the rules of the road, because people are trying to back out, they don't see you. And this driver has just gone through a couple of parking lots, and you just wonder what's going through their mind, why they are doing this, if they're debating stopping or just confused on where to go at this point?
Yeah, or just don't know what they're doing and just wanting to continue the pursuit. Because again, there's no ground units there that are forcing his hand and driving him to continue at such high speeds and with such erratic maneuvers. What he does on the ground isn't going to impact the helicopter. They're going to be able to stay up with him throughout the pursuit. So it's really erratic, and you got to wonder what's going through this person's mind and why they're doing this.
Yes, very frightening to see this driver go so fast when they are not being immediately chased by ground crews. It's certainly frightening to see the maneuvers that this driver has been making, and you wonder if it is just one person in the car. We have not gotten a good angle to see if there's anyone else in the car with this driver, but we see people there walking across the street. This is another parking lot area with trees, and you always wonder, went right through that area with those trees. You always wonder if they're trying to use that as a way to escape the air crews, but still going on Daly Street at this point, making another right here and near the church.
Yeah, this is incredibly dangerous, and the number of intersections we've seen him go through against red lights, with traffic, cross traffic, et cetera, on the wrong side of the road, et cetera. It's really almost miraculous that this has not ended in a collision so far, and you just wonder how much longer it can continue.
Oh, there's another close call. Oh. Just there, can't see by the tree, but made a wide turn, now backing up, trying to get around these cars, Darren. You're going to see this in just a couple of seconds, but the driver almost hit another car that was in an intersection, made a wide turn, had to actually back up to make their way through that intersection. And
did you see the police? There's a police unit right there with its lights on. Right where he made that turn, that's a police unit behind the tree there.
Okay.
So he just went right past past a police SUV right there, probably Whittier Police Department right there.
Yeah, this is Whittier, Washington Avenue, going back here on Daly Street. And, these are just folks minding their business, in the noon hour, maybe just trying to get out and grab a little lunch. And this car is just really flying through. We are blocked by some trees now, and you wonder... Didn't see the car come out from underneath those trees.
I'm waiting for the picture to catch up here.
I see a black and white, but I think that this person got out. Hard to see at this point because of the trees. And it looks like someone is running right by that building. You can see in black there, running down the street. Possibly not aware that there was a ground crew there, and thought that they could elude the helicopter. And you can see that person running, and officer close behind. This is a tough area, of course. There's so many trees that are blocking our vantage point, but that driver did stop, got out, and is on foot. We are closely looking to see. We have not seen him come out from this area where all those trees are. Sky 9 trying to find that suspect.
Yeah, and you saw additional police units arriving there, so I'm confident
else
that
walking
the subject
on
will
the
be taken into
street.
custody very soon here.
Yeah, this is just so dangerous. We know that it was a stolen vehicle. We don't know if this person was armed, how dangerous they might be, but we do know that there are other people around. As we were just saying, it's the noon hour. People have gone out to lunch, walking around, and then you've got this person who has led police on a chase, a wild chase, and hard to say what they are capable of doing, but you do see some folks out there and the black and whites searching that area.
Yeah, I believe that he's probably either gone into one of those buildings or is in custody out on the street there. Although looking to there's now a shot into the alley. It looks like there might be officers there, like they have not located the suspect. So he may be in one of those buildings there on the right side of the screen.
Yeah, this is on Greenleaf Avenue in Whittier, and you can see what looks like some umbrellas there. Perhaps there is some type of restaurant in the area where people might have been having lunch, but I still see a lot of cruisers there. There's the, perhaps, yep, there he is in the dark colored t-shirt with some white writing on the front there. They do have that driver. You can see they have them at that black and white cruiser there, searching pockets, and this driver was not able to get away, as we typically see, Darren. They may run, they may hide, but most times officers do get their suspect.
Yeah, they just go to jail tired. So, and really with increased charges, especially with the wanton disregard for public safety in this pursuit, that will probably carry more penalty than the actual stolen vehicle itself, because of how dangerous the pursuit was. It's obviously a felony evading, and of course, we don't know what other underlying charges are. There may, we don't know if this stolen vehicle was involved in any other crimes or if the suspect is wanted for any other crimes. But certainly now the driving, taking of a stolen vehicle, and the felony evading.
Well, I am just so pleased that this has ended safely. No accidents, because this driver was definitely driving recklessly on the freeways and the surface streets. Retired Sergeant Darren Wyatt, thank you so much for joining us as we watch this pursuit, bringing it to our viewers. And we want to thank you for watching KCAL 9 News at Noon. For Alex Biston and everyone here at KCAL 9, I'm Amy Johnson. Remember, the news continues right now, streaming on CBS in Los Angeles. See you back here at 4 o'clock.